I'm joined today by Sandra Gliffe, a professional coach and trainer and mum of three. Originally from Toulouse, Sandra has lived in various European countries, including France, Germany, and Spain. She offers her services face to face and online and works in English, French, or German. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, very, very happy to be with you, Jane, today.
Thank you for joining me. Sandra, you were a successful senior manager in the corporate world for many years and had a drastic professional change in 2016. How difficult has it been to reinvent yourself, and what challenges have you faced?
Okay, that's a very good question, Jane. Thanks for asking. I think the challenge was not to reinvent myself. Actually, to reinvent myself was pretty fun. The challenge was more to listen to my, small, tiny voice, which told me since a while that I was not at the place I should be. And it's very difficult, or it was very difficult for me, because I had a very good position, as you said, at HP. I was a senior manager, so good status, good salary. I had a personal development there. I had even, so that's not all people, but on my side, I had as well a job share. So theoretically, I was working on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I had kind of, work-life balance. So everything was perfect on the paper, and it was very difficult for me to say, yes, it's perfect, but actually that's not what I want. I felt like a little bit, a spoiled kid, just, destroying his toy, and just, I thought maybe I will just cry after having destroyed it. And I realized, and now, now you think about that, you tell me that, I think I realized that I have two fears. The first one was to regret, and like this spoiled kid, to say, okay, you will be happy just to leave your job, but what in 1 year from now, are you sure that you will be still happy and you will not regret it? So that was my first fear. And I have to say, in 4 years, there was not a single day when I regretted. So it was not a real, it was a fear, but in practice, it was not an issue at all. And my second fear was about my status, because I spent so much time and energy, working at HP. I've done one of the top 10 business school in France. And all my friends, they have this big status and this big role and so on. And I was just asking myself if I'm ready to be able to say to people, you know what, but I'm nothing for now. I'm just reinventing myself. So that was really the two fears I had. And on this second one, when I realized what I really want to do, and it's to coach, I don't care now. I have really super friends, and they have super job, like VP or senior director, having a lot of money and a lot of status and recognition and everything. But I don't care, because I love what I'm doing, and I think that's the most important. So actually, my two fears, in reality, were not issues. It was just kind of fears that you have because you just change and you don't know why.
It's interesting what you say, Sandra, that you were worried about what other people thought
Yes.
you and what you were doing. And I think it's very common for women
Yes.
to worry too much about what other people think and not consider ourselves first and as the most important thing. And it takes a while to realize that if we are happy within ourselves, if we are doing what we want to do, then it filters out and everything around us gets better.
It's definitely a win-win situation in those cases. It's not only for you, you are doing that for you, and you are doing for the other, or for your employee, because your employers, because what you are doing has a bigger impact, because it's what you love, or for your kids or for your family, because you are just flourishing. That's definitely a win-win.
Yeah,
And
sure.
not selfish.
How important was it for you to find the correct or the right work life, family life balance?
Yeah. As I mentioned, I mean, I was in a job share. So actually, from a theoretical point of view, I had a good work-life balance, and it's true. I had time for me. I have time for my family. But the fact is that because I did not really like my job, or most of the things I was doing in my job, my energy was not very positive. Meaning that even if I had time for me or my kids or my husband or whoever, it was always something a little bit that ate me a little bit, instead of, giving this energy to people, be able to be patient, to have empathy. So it was not really easy because I was very preoccupied with my own, energy. In this sense, I think my work balance is better, not because I have free up more time, but more because I think I'm thinking a lot about coaching because I'm passionate about it. But it drives something really positive in me, and I think it makes me more empathic, more patient for others, and that's where I improve my work-life balance, I think.
I think that ultimately, if you have a more motivating and fulfilling job, and it has a positive effect on you, then it's going to have a positive effect on the other areas of your life.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we are spending so much time at work anyway, so that I think it's worth asking ourselves the right question. So why do we want to do this job, and what do we want to achieve in life, and what are our value, what are our strengths, what our aspirations and our competencies as well. But to me, it's really important to know really first kind of introspection. What is really needed? What do I really need? And that's basically the work I'm doing with my client, and I really love it, is to unleash their potential, and for that you need first to understand what you want. And very often you do stuff because you should do them. And I mean, if I would continue at HP, I should go for a director role and then for a VP role and whatever. But it was not what I wanted. So I mean, this click to change your mindset, and not to do something that you should, but something that you want. And yeah, that's basically what I'm doing, really working on the value of the person. What are your value? Are your value aligned with your current job or not? What are your strengths? What is your aspiration? And I think it's really that's the core of or that's the start. To understand what is the job I want to do.
Now you're a life coach specializing in professional transition and taking up a new function. For someone who knows that they need a change, but they don't know what that change is, and they don't know how to go about it, how exactly can you help them?
Yeah. So again, I think really, and if you ask me really what I am, I say, so I'm a leadership coach, because for me, what's the most important is to unleash your full potential. And again, as I said, unleash your full potential is really to know you, and so who are you? What do you want? And what I do is really to start with that with my clients. Is I'm doing exercises and tests and opening, asking for questions about, to define really what is the DNA of the person? What is your value? What are your strengths? What really do you like? What gives you a positive energy? What does not? What is your aspiration? And from that, you can really think about all type of jobs. And then, then when you have, your big brainstorming, then you can narrow and go to, one or two direction. I personally, and that's what I did. I mean, because when I left HP without knowing what I would do. I just knew I won't continue in that direction. I was not very clear what I will do professionally. So basically, what now with a coach is much easier, and it takes less time. But I was doing alone what we can do with a coach, really to do kind of introspection. So what do I want to do? And as well to explore type of potential jobs that I like. So, for example, I thought, I can manage a tea room. I wanted to do a tea room with workshops and activities for kids and parents. And then I realized that it's not for me, but I like the idea to be entrepreneur. Okay. And then I said, okay, but on the other side, I love, helping other and developing my teams. That was what I did at HP, and my mentees, and I've done a mentoring program. So I was just very excited about this human development. So I was thinking, okay, so maybe I need to go back to a company and work in human resources. And then I said, no, because I really need to be independent. And then it came to this coaching, because it's independent and it's human, and I think it's very important to open to large perspective when you are questioning yourself.
I don't think that many people go from one job to another straight away, knowing exactly what change they need to make. It's a process, isn't it? It takes time to make those decisions, to actually decide what you want to do.
And I think I have to say that I had the time, and I wanted to take the time to do it on my own. But most of the people, they cannot do that. They need the salary. You cannot just say, "Oh, okay, I'm leaving," and you don't know actually how long. So I think you can definitely do this work in parallel. You have your current position. You do your work alone or with a coach, and then you come out with some ideas and some very concrete ideas, and then you can start your search. But you know what actually and why you are doing it. Yeah.
So a lot of us have had to change the way we work recently with the situation with COVID. How have you been able to adapt to working remotely?
Yeah, working remotely for me, I've done since ever. I would say at HP, it's super international. So I had always my boss, or most of the time my boss, not working at the same office. Same with my teams. So it was not new as such. But for sure, when it came to coaching, I thought, coaching, it's really about relationship and feeling the person and, all this tiny stuff. And I was a little bit skeptical, but to be honest, it's working really good. And I think the good thing is that if it's virtual, the client choose a safe environment at home. So he or she feels really safe and very, like at home for sure, because she is, and it helps in the process as well. So I think so more or less, well, all in one, it's as good as face to face, and I've done a lot this year, and I have good feedback, and I appreciate it a lot as well.
You also have the flexibility of not having to work within office hours, don't you? That you can work weekends or evenings if need be.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So, Sandra, what would your one piece of advice be for women who find themselves in the situation that you were in back in 2016?
I think the most important is really to start acknowledging that there is a small voice and start, listening. It does not mean that you have to do the change now, but at least a little bit, so try to understand what this voice wants to say. And I think the first thing probably is to start with, what are your values? What are your strengths? What is your aspiration? So there are very good material, and you can book. For example, there are books very good. You can Find Your Why from Simon Sinek, for example, and there you can really find a little bit about your aspiration and what is your contribution in this world and what you want to do for professionally, but in your life in general. There is another book that I like. It's Squiggly Career. Career, very good as well. Very good start. You can go for a test. That's the Clifton Strengths. So that's a strengths finder. So that basically is a test to start with your strengths, and you have a kind of debriefing of your test. So it's very nice. And otherwise, I mean, if you want, you don't have the discipline, you don't have the time, or you want to go very quickly on that, you can definitely as well check for a coach. There are many coaches doing that. Maybe one advice about coach. So please, maybe so check. So basically, if the coach belongs to a federation, so then it makes you most probably then is more structure. It's good coach. And the second thing is really follow your intuition and really, do you have the alchemy with the person or not? And if yes, so just go for it. Definitely the coach will it will just speed up the process, and you will within 3-4 months you will be crystal clear on all those aspects. So that's the good thing. So alone in 3-4 months it's more difficult.
So obviously it's important not to feel overwhelmed by the whole process, to find a coach that suits you and it's somebody that you can work through these things together.
Yeah, definitely. And for example, so I'm doing as well the strength finder with my clients most of the time. And for sure, so I am giving as well so some other perspectives that you don't get if you do the test and you get just a debriefing from Clifton Strength. So for sure, so it gives you more perspective. It's richer. But definitely, I won't tell you that you cannot achieve anything alone. So I mean, I would just lie. So, but it's not the same. It's not the same speed. It's not the same intensity.
Okay, Sandra, I'm going to show your website address at the bottom of the screen now. So if anybody listening is interested in finding out more about your services and how you work, they can look at your website and there they'll find your contact details, your email address. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's been really interesting.
Thank you, Jane.